The P1 Hawk, Curtiss Model 34, was a 1920s open-cockpit biplane fighter aircraft of the United States Army Air Corps. An earlier variant of the same aircraft had been designated PW-8 prior to 1925. Design and development. PW-8. The Curtiss P1 Hawk was the first U.S. Army Air Service aircraft to be assigned the P, Pursuit, designation, which replaced 7 designations for pursuit aircraft, including PW, 4 Pursuit, water-cooled engine. The P1 was the production version of the Curtiss XPW-8B, an improved variant of the PW-8, 25 of which were operational with the Air Service's 17th Pursuit Squadron. In September 1923, the Army ordered production of the PW-8. The PW-8, Curtiss Model 33, had been developed from the R-6 Racer and was acquired by the Air Service after a competition with the Boeing Model 15, designated the PW-9, to replace the existing Army fighter, the Boeing MB-3A. Although the PW-8 was faster than the PW-9, both having top speeds in excess of 165 miles per hour, it was otherwise outperformed by the Boeing plane, and its surface radiator cooling system, mounted on the upper and lower surfaces of the top wing for streamlining, was more difficult to maintain and vulnerable in combat. However, Assistant Chief of the Air Service Brig General Billy Mitchell agreed to purchase 25 PW-8s in return for assistance by Curtiss in making the dawn-to-dusk transcontinental flight across the United States. P1. The prototype of the P1, the XPW-8B, came about when the Air Service, which had selected the Boeing PW-9 over the PW-8 as its main production fighter, asked Curtiss to modify the last of its 3 original XPW-8 prototypes with wings resembling those of the PW-9. Curtiss designated the modified aircraft its Model 34A and returned it to the Air Service for evaluation, from which the service ordered it into production as the P1. The first production P1, serial number 25-410, was delivered on August 17, 1925, and was followed in successive years by the P1B and P1c variants with improved engines. The newest P1 variants remained in operational service until 1930. The March 7, 1925 order for the P1 also requested 5 aircraft with the more powerful 500 HP, 373 kilowatts, Curtiss V1400 engine installed. These were completed in January 1926. The first, SN 25-420, was then modified with a turbocharger mounted on the right side of the fuselage nose, and whose turbine was driven by engine exhaust. The craft was designated XP2. However, the Curtiss V1400 engine did not perform up to expectations, with or without the supercharger, and so after a year in service, 3 of the standard P2 Hawks had their engines replaced with the Curtiss D12 and were consequently redesignated as P1s. The fifth machine, 25-243, received a Curtiss V1570 Conqueror engine and became the XP6. 93 production P1s were brought into service in the P1, P1A, P1B, and P1c variants. 52 other P1s, variants P1D, P1E, and P1F, were made by conversion of other Hawk variants, primarily at 4 and at 5 trainers. P3 and P5 test variants. The P3 Hawk was similar to the P1 Hawk but with a radial R1340-3 Wasp radial engine. The first of the type, designated XP3A, was the last P1A, serial 26-300. Originally intended to be powered by a 390 HP, 291 kilowatts, Curtiss R1454, the engine was deemed unsatisfactory and the 410 HP, 306 kilowatts, Pratt & Whitney R1340 engine substituted. A second XP3A, serial 28-189, included a cowling and spinner to reduce the drag due to the radial engine, entered in the National Air Races of 1929, its speed of 186.84 miles per hour, 300.69 kilometers per hour, gave it second place in the Thompson Trophy race. The remaining 4 aircraft were production P3s, but primarily used to service test the Pratt & Whitney Wasp engine. In addition to the significant increase in drag, the radial engine also interfered with the pilot's view. Addition of a town-end ring cowling worsened the visibility problem, and had only a limited effect on speed. It was also tested with various types of deep chord NACA cowls. Two of the XP-3A aircraft were re-engined in 1929 and 1930 with the Pratt & Whitney R985-1 Wasp Junior engine. This aircraft was redesignated the XP-21. Tests were run with this aircraft, but it was never developed into a production aircraft, despite the designation. 5 P-5 Superhawks, similar to the P1c but with a turbocharged Curtiss D-12F engine, were delivered in 1928. They had a top speed of 166 miles per hour, 267 kilometers per hour, at 25,000 feet, 7,620 m, considerably higher than the maximum ceiling of the P1A, but their low-level performance was inferior. At 4 and at 5 trainers. Two single-seat advanced trainer variants were placed into production, the at 4 and at 5A, using Wright Hisso E/Wright Hisso V720 V8 engines. All were re-engined with Curtiss D-12D engines and returned to use as fighters, designated P1D and P1F respectively. 5 at 4/ZAT-5 test variants were reclassified as P1E. A total of 202 PW8, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, at 4 and at 5 airplanes were delivered. Operational history. On June 23, 1924, taking off at 3:58 a.m., Army test pilot First Lieutenant Russell Maugham left Mitchell Field, New York, in PW8 24-204, modified with additional fuel and oil tanks, made a dawn-to-dusk transcontinental flight across the U.S. Refueling 5 times, he landed at Crissy Field, San Francisco, California, at 9:46 p.m., 1 minute before dusk, covering 2,670 miles, 4,297 kilometers, in 20 hours and 48 minutes. His flight time included 4 planned 30-minute stops at McCook Field, Ohio, St. Joseph, Missouri, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and Saldero Siding, Utah, and an unplanned stop in North Platte, Nebraska for additional fuel when a muddy field in Missouri did not permit him to take on a full load. He also lost an hour at McCook to repair a broken fuel valve after an overeager mechanic had over-torqued the valve, damaging it. The original 15 P1s served in the 27th and 94th Pursuit Squadrons, 1st Pursuit Group, Selfridge Field, Michigan. The first Hawk to serve with the Air Corps in quantity was the P1A, 17th, 27th, and 94th Pursuit Squadrons, beginning in 1925. In October 1928 the largest order of 33 P1s was made. These were delivered by April 1929 as P1cs. The at 4 and at 5 trainer variants served with the 43rd Pursuit Squadron, School, at Kelly Field, Texas. Variants. While a total of 202 Hawks were built in the basic variants PW8, P1, P2, P3, P5, at 4, and at 5, conversions resulted in 148 having a P1 designation. XPW8. 3 manufactured, 1 modified to XPW8A and later XPW8B standard, 1 converted to COX 2-seat observation aircraft. PW8. 25 produced and flown by 17th Pursuit Squadron. XPW8A. XPW8 23 to 1203 converted with a new cooling system and modified wings for trials. XPW8B. Model 34 The XPW8A fitted with single bay tapered wing as prototype for the P1 series. P1. Model 34A production version of the XPW8B with modified rudder and additional wing center strut, and Clark Y aerofoil, powered by 435 HP, 324 kilowatts, Curtiss V1150-1, D12, 10 built. P1A. Model 34G P1 with 3-inch fuselage stretch, larger wheels, and revised fuel system, 25 built with Curtiss D12C engine and 3 conversions from P2. Final 2 converted to ZAT4 trainer and XP3 racer prototypes. Delivered in 1926. XP1A. 1 P1A used for development trials. P1B. Model 34I-25 produced with Curtiss V1150-3, D12D, engine. Increased weight, reduced performance. Delivered 1927. P1C. Model 34033 built with Curtiss V1150-5, D12E, engine. Increased weight, further decreased performance. Delivered 1927-28. XP1C. 1 P1C fitted with a revised radiator. P1D. 24 conversions from ET4 trainers, re-engined with Curtiss V1150-3, D12D, engines. P1E. 4 converted from ET5 trainers re-engined with 440 HP, 328 kilowatts, V1150-3 built as ET4S and converted to ZAT5 prototype. All re-engined and converted to P1E. P1F. 24 conversions from ET5A trainers, 1 conversion from Curtiss XP21A, all re-engined with a 440 HP, 328 kilowatts, Curtiss V1150-3 in 1929. P2. Model 34BP1 with a 500 HP, 373 kilowatts, Curtiss V1400, 5 built. 3 later converted to P1A and 1 re-engined with the Curtiss V1570-1 as the XP6. XP3. Radial engined version, 1 converted from a P1A with 390 HP, 291 kilowatts, Curtiss R1454 engine, later converted to XP3A. XP3A. XP3 re-engined with a 410 HP, 306 kilowatts, Pratt & Whitney R1340-1. XP21. XP3 re-engined with the Pratt & Whitney R985 Wasp Jr. P3A. Model 34 and 5 production aircraft to the ET5A design with a 410 HP, 306 kilowatts, Pratt & Whitney R1340-7. XP4. P1A modified with a supercharged 510 HP, 380 kilowatts, Packard 1A 1530 engine. XP5. P1A version with a 435 HP, 324 kilowatts, Curtiss V1150-3 engine. P5. Model 34L4 built, same as XP5 later modified with the Curtiss D12F engine. ZAT4. Model 34JP1A re-engined with a 180 HP, 134 kilowatts, Wright Hispano E as an advanced trainer. ET4. Production version of the ZAT4, 40 ordered, first 35 were converted in 1929 to P1DS with the Curtiss D12 engine, and the remainder completed as ET5S. ET5. Model 34J5 aircraft originally to ET4S re-engined with a 220 HP, 164 kilowatts, Wright J5, later converted to P1ES. ET5A. Model 34M31 aircraft based on the P1B with a lengthened fuselage, later converted to P1FS. COX. The first XPW-8 prototype was converted into a 2-seat observation aircraft. All variants increased in weight with each succeeding model, resulting in slight reductions in performance with each. Operators. Bolivia. 4 P1S were supplied to Bolivia. Chile. 8 P1S and 8 P1BS went to Chile. Japan. 1 P1A went to Japan. Thailand. Designated Hawk 3 or Hawk 3, served in the Royal Thai Air Force between 1934 and 1949. United States. United States Army Air Corps. Specifications, P1c. General Characteristics. Crew, 1, Pilot. Length, 23.0 feet, 7.01 m. Wingspan, 31.5 feet, 9.6 m. Height, 8.75 feet, 2.67 m. Wing area, 252 feet superscript 2, 23.41 square meters. Airfoil, Clark Y. Empty weight, 2,195 pounds, 996 kilograms. Max takeoff weight, 2,937 pounds, 1,349 kilograms. Power plant, 1 times Curtiss V1150-3 liquid-cooled V12 engine, 435 HP, 324 kilowatts. Performance. Maximum speed, 155 miles per hour, 249 kilometers per hour. Cruise speed, 123 miles per hour, 198 kilometers per hour. Range, 300 miles, 483 kilometers. Service ceiling, 20,800 feet, 6,340 m. Rate of climb, 1,460 feet/min, 7.42 m/s. Armament. 2 times .30 in, 7.62 mm, fixed forward firing Browning machine guns.
Please subscribe and thanks for watching.